So what's up, dude? I got my buddy Scott Milashus on the call. I haven't talked to you. Well, no, we do talk, but I haven't seen your face and done a pod with you, and we're long overdue. What's going on?
Nothing, man. Just wrapping up the season now.
Yeah. Have you hit the layoffs yet, or what?
Yeah. So I laid all the guys off last Friday.
All right. And they kind of know the rhythm, right? And they're happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's.
They do well on unemployment. So each one of them between like $600 and $700 a week, just unemployment.
Wow. They're making that much to justify it, I guess, huh?
Yeah, between $30 and $40 an hour.
It's fantastic. It's good. Everybody needs a little break. And what do you do? Like a 6-week layoff, something like that?
Typically shut down end of December, beginning of January, start back up in March or whenever the weather is good enough for us.
Nice. And
I still had jobs come in, through the winter. I just pay it a little bit differently.
Yeah, no, I know the drill. Who wants to come in? Who wants to get a little something, and you keep it moving?
Yeah. Well, I got some good guys. They still want to work, so.
Good. What are you working every day, or how many days a week you getting stuff in now?
Well, typically in the season we're 5-6 days a week, but right now, like I said, we're shut down. I let everybody up, so we're cleaning out the shop, doing some returns on goofy colors. Going to start working on some trucks.
So what are you telling customers? Like, we're out 2 months now, something like that?
No, I'll still book them right now.
Well, that's what I mean. So what
just the phones are dead right now.
Okay. I mean, look, it's no different than it is for us here. Well, my wife's been handling all of our rain gutter sales. We're switching things up here, and she's killing it. She's killing it. And I'm so busy on my side, I don't necessarily know her schedule because I know it doesn't matter. I don't have to police her. Whatever's on the agenda, she gets done. But today she had 5 sales calls, but she was slower earlier in the week. And then I know, I'm doing all the drainage. And I was on the phone with my office manager about an hour ago, and I'm like, so what do you have? Because I'll book myself, and I manage my own schedule on Google Calendar, and then the office books me, and we have to sync a couple times a day. It probably sounds a little clunky from the outside, but honestly, as a human being and as an owner, it allows me to actually still be in control of myself and schedule myself. And I do have a lot of moving parts with clients or projects that are like midway or don't have approvals yet. So there's stuff that I need to set anyway. So anyway, I said, so what's my schedule like next week? Well, I'm in my calendar. Let me just clean it up. She's like, I only have one appointment for you on Tuesday that we talked about yesterday. I'm like, that's the only one? And it was like a feeling of joy. I have probably 6 estimates that are massive that I need to get off my desk. And then George and I have a ton of video content to create. So I've been praying for a little slow up just so I could get things done. Any kind of legacy work, like even the shop. We just moved. My shop's a mess right now because nothing has a final resting place yet.
How do you like it?
I love it. I love it. It's kind of a double-edged sword. We were talking about this before. It's closer to my house. There's a lot of goodies directly around us, like Fastenal, a nice lumber yard, plumbing supply place that I buy a lot of materials from. Home Depot's close. There's a lot of things that help me run the business really close. And things were a little bit further from the shop when we were in Norwalk, but Norwalk in of itself is much further, 10, 12 minutes further than from my house. So I'm closer to home, but the double-edged sword element is that because I'm closer to home, I'm spending more time in the office. I think we left here at 11 o'clock last night. I left here, did we do 11 every effing night this week?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, we're rolling, I can't even do the math anymore. It's like a 16, 17-hour workday. I leave the house at 6, and then I'm home at 11 at night. So, dude, I'm like in this mental insanity place in my life where I can't even keep track of like normalcy. So,
It's all going to pay off, Frank.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice. There's so many things that, this is what I like about you, Scott. Me and you have so much in common. There's so many things that, so many commonalities that we enjoy together, whether it be fitness or even snowmobiling. I want to talk to you about snowmobiling this year. Kids in the same age range. I enjoy your company. So let's get into it, dude. I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's chop it up, and I don't care if the whole world is watching this video. Let's talk about our stuff. You're on a fitness quest too, right? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I do like a hybrid CrossFit circuit training. So I do days a week with a class, with a group of people. And then I'm still hitting the regular gym, weight training probably 4 or 5 days a week.
Wow. So are you like essentially doing double sessions, or how's that?
Yeah.
2 time in it every day?
Not every day, no.
Okay. No. How you feeling with the CrossFit stuff? We're getting up there in age. It's rough on you a little.
I like it. I like the group mentality, so it helps me push. When I go to the gym just by myself, it's easy for me to slack or just kind of get in a rhythm.
Right.
Whereas doing the CrossFit or competing in a group fitness like that, there's plenty of people to push it and keep on pace. And
really that little subconscious edge, right, where you look to the side and you see somebody's moving their ass, and you're like, I better step it up.
Yeah. And I'm naturally competitive anyway, so being around other people like that, it works.
Aren't we all, right? So tell me something. Let's get into the numbers. What have you? What kind of goals have you had? Are you losing weight? Are you putting on muscle? You throwing the numbers through the roof on the
lean mass right now.
Are you tracking it, or how are you going about measuring?
Not
mirror?
Too much. I can start tracking it now that it works.
Well, the mirror always tells the story, but
I've bulked up, so I'm going to probably start a cutting phase in the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to restrict carbs. I may even do intermittent fasting.
Yeah. So, we're on different planes, so to say. But I want to talk about diet and cutting and stuff, because that's what I've been doing for the last. I think I'm in my 7th week. I've been on this weird journey, right? It's been 12 months since my knee was replaced. I was about 215 pounds right before that surgery, and they said, you're fat. My doctor was like, dude, this is not good, dude. He's like, you're morbidly obese on paper. I'm like, get the hell out of here. He's like, you are obese, and it's going to be rough on your knee, man. Your healing is going to be jammed up with the extra weight on your body. And I was always a fitness guy. I played D1 college sports, and then I continued in D1 men's clubs until like 32 playing rugby. So I was always in shape. I always was in the gym. And then it gets away from you. You get married, you have kids, you try to dial it up with business, and it just, one day you look in the mirror and you're like, that doctor was right, man. I'm fat. Like, this is bad. So I cut 10 pounds quick. Right before the knee surgery, I did this crash just to get the weight off. Doctor's like, doesn't matter what, we just need the weight off the skeleton to save the knee and to recover quick. So I did that, right? I cut it down to 203, and then had the surgery, and then I lost some more weight. And I saw you at GutterCon last year, and I was skinny fat, and I was still healing. I felt like shit. I wasn't doing any kind of proper exercise. I couldn't. I was still feeble. Really, my body just was weak. So anyway, long story short, I stayed with the PT guy from my knee. I see him twice a week. It cost me a bloody fortune. It's the same guy that Vince McMahon goes to. Bradley Cooper goes to this guy. There's so many movie stars and celebrities that fly in. This is the best of the best, right? The doctor. And then the doctor has this team of 20. So his PT guys, this guy goes to Vince McMahon's house every night at 10 o'clock at night. So he works me out twice a week, and then the rest of the week I do it on my own. But I also hired this trainer remotely to hold me accountable. And he's got an app, and it's I don't even know the name of the app because it's white labeled. It's got his name on it. He's in Michigan. I think he's in your neck of the woods. He's obviously shredded. He's one of these Instagram guys that knows what he's doing and has a lot of NYPD and guys that are trying to cut it up. So the bulking is fun, right? Yeah, you're eating
bulking's the easy work.
I mean, you got a spoon hanging out of the peanut butter. Life is good. But this guy is all about. I can't get the cardio in because I can't run on my knee. but I definitely get more than 10,000 steps a day in because I'm always on the move. But I'm lifting like a beast, and the diet is spot on. George sees I eat like a weirdo, but if you want to, like, I'll share that meal plan. If you want to just take it and run, it's all macros, so it was dialed into me being 20% body fat or 22% body fat at. I started with him at like 204. I'm down to 193 right now, but I'm losing like 1.5 pounds a week, and my strength just keeps skyrocketing. So I'm like trying to recapture my former glory, but I'm feeling good.
What times are you typically getting your workouts in?
It's all over the place. Some days, if I get to bed at a good hour, I'm in the gym at like 6 a.m. I try to sneak it in before work. Today, I worked out at 1 o'clock. I did a full weights workout, shoulders, and then I did 20 minutes of abs. Yesterday, I was with the therapist, so I was in there at 3 to 4. So it's all over the place. Some days at the end of the day after work, I hate that window of time, but
yeah, I typically try to schedule it during the day.
Sneak it
in between stops, and it works out good because that way, when the day's over, I'm just done. I can go home or get my son.
Nice. All right, so you're going into a cutting phase. That's going to be the tough part. You got to restrict the diet. You're going to up cardio too, or just going to go diet?
We'll see. I'm going to have to do some cardio. I'm kind of tossing back and forth whether I'm going to do, like I said, fasting. A couple of friends, they've been fasting for 24 hours, just one meal a day, and then trying to go 3 and 4 and 5 days.
So what this guy's got me doing to cut, he wants me to eat every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's
just all high protein.
Yeah, it's a macros-based meal, so it's balanced. It's got protein, it's got carbs, it's got fat. So I'm eating like half an avocado, half of a sweet potato, a baked sweet potato, and then a portion of meat. Whether it's chicken, ground beef, ground bison. In the morning, a huge portion of egg whites, scrambled. It's like almost too much for me to eat. I can't do big portions. I'm a slow eater, but a lot of eggs, a lot of meat, a lot of sweet potato, a lot of brown rice. Very simple, very basic. It's mundane. It's the same thing over and over. You basically just don't enjoy food anymore. It's just kind of a means to an end. You're just a machine. You're putting in. It's an energy source. If I don't eat, I'm like zapped. And the minute I eat now, I immediately get like out of the fat an instant energy pop. It's pretty crazy.
For me, I've learned I've got to get creative. So I meal prep. I'll cook protein in bulk, but I like switching it up. I'll go between beef and shredded pork and chicken. So It's not always just the same monotonous thing.
Yeah, it gets boring and it gets sickening, repulsive.
It's easy to fall out of the habit.
Totally. The prep is the hardest part for me. I just don't have the time, but I've been making the time amazingly. My wife is totally shocked. I'm in there cooking my own breakfast. I'm prepping meals for 2-3 days at a time. Takes like a good hour and a half sometimes to put it all together, but throw the Tupperwares in the fridge and I'm out.
Have you looked into any of those services where they'll meal prep for you?
Yeah, I used to, over the years, I've used different ones. Maybe I'll get back to that. But you know what? It's so easy and the food is so cheap relatively speaking, when you like balance out a whole week's worth of meals, you're spending like a quarter of what you would out at a deli or a diner or whatever where you normally pick up food. It's disgustingly overpriced.
How much time do you set aside to meal prep during the week though?
I don't. I just crowbar it in. So it could be like 6 a.m. if I'm scrambling eggs. I'll just keep the pan hot, wash it off quick, and then just keep cooking meat. Or I'll do it at like 10 at night at home when everybody's sleeping. So I
like the Instapot. So I'll do like 5 pounds of beef or like a pork shoulder or 5 pounds of chicken breast, and I'll put it in the Instapot. And then
my wife's a big proponent of that. 20 minutes, right? It's like not even.
Yeah, no, not even.
Yeah, I got to get back to that. My wife just keeps laughing at me. She'll throw a potato in there and the chicken and some bone broth and steam it up, and it's ready to go in 20 minutes. And I'm over there throwing potatoes in the oven, old school. It takes an hour and a half to bake them, but I prefer the taste of them baked when they get all like caramelized and delicious. Snowmobiling. What's up? You going out this year or what?
Where I go in Wisconsin, they only have like 3 inches of snow up there.
Terrible.
And here in Chicago, we got nothing.
So, it might not happen this year or what? We're getting a snowstorm this weekend over here.
Well, I may take a trip somewhere with snow just so I can get a ride this year.
Yeah. So we've been doing this annual trip, me and 2 of my best buddies. It takes about 8 hours to get there. It's northern Maine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looked like a cool trip. I remember seeing the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, so we're going in 4 weeks. First weekend of February.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I have no time to keep sleds up. You still own your own, right?
I sold one of them. I still have one sled.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have time to turn a wrench.
Renting's the way to go.
Yeah.
Especially if I only go 2 or 3 times a year. It's just so much more easier. No maintenance, no storage for them.
Yeah, that's our business model with it now. Hey guys, if you're on the fence about registering for GutterCon this year in February in Orlando, don't hesitate. Get on there and use GutterApp promo code. GutterApp. Get yourself $250 off, but you have to act now. This is expiring on the 15th of January. So move fast, get the discount, and I'll see you there. So you're presenting this year at GutterCon, dude. I'm proud of you. Happy that you're going to be there presenting. Tell me about that. How did that all come about?
So Brent asked me, and I'm basically going to go and just kind of lay out my journey since starting my company.
That's awesome.
A lot of the people that are going to be in the audience, are guys similar to me, maybe a little bit behind me or a little bit ahead of me. So my speech is for the guy that still comes there and is going to get some solid value, and how I've, sped up and cheated from guys like you to get back all the mistakes and have a business that's almost streamlined.
You want to tease the audience a little bit? Tell them just a little touch on you and your background so that they can get a feel for it. And I mean, Scott, if you hear Scott's story and what he's accomplished in such little time, Scott is I don't know what's the best way to, a sponge doesn't sound like, it's not necessarily complimentary, but that's how I mean it. I mean, you're a quick study. And your story is phenomenal, and you could lend a lot to some of these guys. I can't connect with everybody. My personality is what it is, and you have your own unique ways. And I think a lot of guys would gravitate to you, and they're going to at GutterCon. Tell the audience a little bit about your background so that maybe if they're on the fence about coming to visit with us at GutterCon, maybe you'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
So I guess gutter related. I started my company just as a subcontractor for Leaf Filter in the middle of 2018.
All right.
Didn't know anything about the gutter trade. I installed gutter guards for a couple months, and I seen that there was money in doing gutters, even for them at the time, because I didn't know any better. So I bought a gutter machine. I started making some decent money with those guys, and then I just, saw better opportunities the more I got into the trade. So beginning of 2019, I left them, and then I was just a subcontractor for the next year and a half. I was still working on the truck, just only getting jobs from roofers, not selling anything retail. And then the last 2.5 years, I've kind of shifted away from contractors and gone completely retail.
Well, that's the exact model, right? Like if I was to go back and tell anybody how it should kind of shift and come together, you ran the curve the classical way, which is you have no choice in the beginning. Got to use the contractors, but then
I got to make all my mistakes too, to where it really didn't hurt my brand.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Just the mistakes on learning how to run a business efficiently. Learning what not to do and what not to do on gutters. I got to get all that out of my system when I was just subcontracting for roofers and Leaf Filter, and now we have it pretty nailed down on how we install gutters.
So you jumped out of nowhere, as George likes to say, jumped off the porch and started messing with Leaf Filter. At that point, you said you had no gutter experience previously, right?
Nothing.
And then from that point, when you first become in the gutter trade, how long thereafter did you get your first machine? It was a year and a half or so?
Within 6 months.
6 months, okay. All right, so you immediately saw how it was trending for you.
Well, yeah. I wanted more. And with Leaf Filter, to make more money, I had to install gutters.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny. What do you have to say about the buzz out there? Everybody's so oh, Leaf Filter, they suck. What a crappy product. What a crappy company. I'm very. I reserve myself. I don't jump on bandwagons like that because I see a lot of times the forest between the trees, and I'm looking at the business and the marketing side. And a lot of you guys, you're totally blind to marketing and branding. You have no concept of that. And so, yes, Leaf Filter is cutting into you. They're a competitor. Yes, they're overpriced. Yes, they're taking advantage of the elderly and that sort of thing. Yes, they don't pay the techs well enough. Yes, yes, yes. But I reserve a lot of respect for the fact that they can make the phone ring and they can sell at that price. And they have a race car, a NASCAR car. I mean, it's like they're making money. So what can we take away from that? What's your takeaway from your experience with them? Are you a hater, or are you like, you just went in another direction?
Yeah, a lot of guys hating on them online. Sure, it's a lower pay scale from them, but it's guaranteed work. And if you want to show up every day and hustle, you can go make money there.
Yeah, they didn't burn you, right?
Comments on the group are the ones that work 2-3 days a week.
You got it. And you got paid, right? They didn't shake you down or play games with you.
No, starting off just doing gutter guards, I was making between $2,000 and $3,000 a week as a guy that had no experience, but I worked 6-7 days a week.
Yeah, so we know. I mean, the guys that have the hustle, that move and shake, that's what it's all about. If you can't get up and get out and self-motivate, I don't care what business you're in, it's not going to work. You're not going to see numbers.
But no, it's a good stepping stone. It's not a forever, kind of partnership that you want to do with them, but it was a good stepping stone for me and to learn the trade.
That's a great way to put it, right? Stepping stone. That's a great definition for what it is. Let's call it what it is, right?
More than that, I mean, they bring awareness to the industry. They bring awareness that you need to clean your gutters, that there is a need for gutter guards.
This is true.
A lot of homeowners without stuff like that, not too many people think about gutters.
It's actually a good point, Scott. I mean, by them doing that helps all of us, right? The high tide rises all ships. That's by them bringing awareness. The homeowner may go to market and decide they don't want Leaf Filter, they want you, because Leaf Filter stirred the pot and got them excitable and got them shopping. So yeah, there's value there for the smart business-minded person that sees the angle. How'd you do in 2023? How was the year for you monetarily?
We did good. We did a little bit less than last year, so we're going to finish out like 1.4 million, which is like 200,000 less from last year. But we did less work. I worked maybe 20, 30 hours a week all year.
Yep.
Just kind of started to get, I guess, like a groove going.
Nice.
Hitch right a little bit.
20, 30 hours a week. What the hell are you doing with the rest of the week?
Whatever I want.
So you had a good year.
Yeah.
You were doing you.
I'm a single parent now, so I have my son half the time, so basically a 50-50 split. Nice. So I'll get his days throughout the week. Yeah. And just
hats off to you, brother. A lot of guys can't do that. Can't do the 50-50. You're a good dad. I see that kid's always smiling. How old is he now?
He's 2.5.
All right, dude. He's the same age as my little one.
Yeah, we just got back from Disneyland yesterday.
Talking up a storm?
Oh, yeah. More words come out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing the words that pop out of my daughter's mouth. Even my son, I have to curb my mouth. When you work from 6 a.m. to 11 at night, when you come home, things just fall out of your mouth sometimes. And my kids repeat them, but they're little sponges, aren't they?
They are. They definitely are. And he's my little shadow, so anything I do, he does.
I bet. No, you guys have a cute thing going. Hats off to all that time you put in, man. You're a savage. Good for you. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, right? You can make it work however you need to make it work.
Yeah, to have freedom, That's the whole reason I'm doing this, to have freedom.
I also wanted to ask about your office manager. I forgot her name. Nice gal. Yeah. We met her last year.
Yeah, Jasmine.
Jasmine, that's right. And she was relatively new for you when we did GutterCon last, February. Was that right? She's a couple months in at that point?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months in at that point.
How are things going?
I mean, awesome. She's the sponge. She learns anything I needed her to do. So she handles payroll, accounting. She even does estimates. Most of the jobs that she goes out on estimates, She signs them.
That's great. How many hours a week is she pulling?
40 hours a week. So she's salaried, but typically it's 7:30 to 3:30.
Sure. Nice. Good. I'm glad that's working out. Any tips or pointers you want to share with the world out there on office manager strategy or?
Let go.
It's true. It's hard.
Anybody that wants to learn it, if you don't know it yourself already, and let go.
I'm gonna go out on a limb a little. Is it fair to say that maybe there's a couple things she started doing better than you were doing, and
Oh, for sure.
you kind of caught you by surprise, right? You're like, whoa, okay.
For sure. But it's just because the longer I grow in business, the more I see that I have to let go of, certain aspects of the business and certain tasks. So being able to let go and let her take all that stuff off my plate, it makes a world of a difference.
That's awesome. What do you have in store for 2024? Any new tricks or lines of business or systems? Really? Oh, yeah. We tell me about that. Get me up to speed. We talked at length about this a couple months ago. Where are you at now?
In 2 weeks, I'm doing a 3-day course, and then after that, I take the state exam for commercial roofing license.
Fantastic.
So that encompass commercial and residential houses.
Did you start beefing up on insurance and all of that lingo?
Be a separate company.
Oh, you're starting another company to do claims?
I'm going to keep Elite Gutters as its own entity. Then I'm going to do Elite Gutters and Roofing, so I can still piggyback off the brand Elite Gutters. And the vehicles will kind of cross over. So
very neat. It's so tricky. I'm a deep study of marketing and branding, and it's when you have multiple brands, which I do as well. It's hard to. Well, in some respects, it's easy because if you nail it with one, then you could then morph and model off of that footprint and that formula to build the other brands. But then there's times where you want to kind of have everything come back together, and you want to be able to present to the every single person you meet that you are also all these other things, and you don't want to have to go through a dog and pony on each brand. So it's nice to have like a mother company or some sort of an umbrella that you could hit them with, where they go, oh, I see. Okay, you do all these other things.
That's why I'm kind of keeping the names similar. Elite Gutters and Elite Gutters. So it's an easy changeover. So if I pull up in the gutter truck and then I'm telling a homeowner, well, I can give you a free estimate, for a free inspection for storm damage, and this is the same company. I just feel like it looks a little better and it's less confusing than saying I have a completely different named company, but I'm here to give you a gutter estimate.
Absolutely. I did the same thing with Connecticut Gutter. We became Connecticut Gutter and Shingle. We played that game for a while. We changed the logo. We changed the web address, or set up another website. And you kind of test and measure and figure out what works. Elite is a strong name. It sounds like it's been around forever, right? It's like an assumed winner.
State you look in, if you look up Elite Roofing, there's quite a few.
There is. There's a lot of Elite Gutters too. There's a couple other Elite Gutters.
Well, no, and then the plan is, to have, roofing kind of take the forefront of the business. So when it's time, when we're doing more in roofs than gutters, I can either sell Elite Gutters or just merge it all in to the one big brand, and then we focus on the higher tickets with roofs inside.
I love it. It's definitely a winning formula. Every market is different too. What I've learned going around the country is there's some real hotbeds, some markets that really soar with roofing, and then others that are highly competitive, and it's not worth it because the margins everybody's selling on price. GAF is a commodity, right? Like if you're using a standard shingle, GAF Timberline, that's as commoditized these days as it gets. I like Owens Corning Duration. That's my shingle of choice, but a lot of guys install that too. And again, like if the homeowner's savvy and they're looking at two quotes and it's like, look, the roof's the roof. I only have X amount of square footage up there and X amount of linear footage of, rakes and eaves and edging and metalwork. Why is your price so much more expensive? I don't know. I'm still hot cold on roofing. I do amazing work. I get these monster roofs. I just did 5 in a row. 3 of them were commercial. Like we just pop. But I'm still kind of like half happy with it. Like, part of it is like just liability.
The margins aren't there for you on it?
They're there. I only put it this way. the way I set it up for me and my family business is we cherry pick. So the roofing, I don't spend any money on my advertising on the roofing, nothing. I just refuse to. I try to leverage hyper-local SEO marketing. My websites do get eyeballs. My Google My Business gets eyeballs. And also that we upsell, right? So if I'm up there, if I'm at somebody's house for drainage and they're doing other work and they're getting ready for it, I always pitch, well, what's going on with the roof? And obviously the rain gutter team too, if they're there to quote a rain gutter system and the opportunity for the roof is there, we bring it in. So I'm not doing high volume roofing, but when I do get them, they're jobs that I want and it's at my price. And if I don't get my price, so be it. I let it go. I was at a roof yesterday and I was on the phone with the guy this morning, cedar roof, or he wants a cedar roof. He has asphalt and it's hilarious. I look at historical imagery of the house to do my takeoff and he just bought the house 7 months ago. I looked at photos from just as early as like a year ago. And it had a cedar roof on it. So the previous owner, it was probably tired. You couldn't really tell in the images, but it looked a little weathered by the color. But they probably demoed the roof, threw on it was a GAF Timberline, just like, new roof, we'll sell with a new roof. And the owners immediately said, we love the house, but in fact, I'm pricing a little bit of a remodel in the front. They want to go with a gambrel and a big portico and a copper standing seam barrel roof on that and some copper aprons, but they immediately said, we need a cedar roof here. And it's what the house actually called for originally, and they had no idea. So, but again, like we're talking about, it's $140,000 roof, and he's trying to not necessarily poke holes, but I have other prices, and so look, I'm getting 140 grand or I'm not doing the job. It's got my way or the highway,
What price range do you like to be in on Cedar Shake up there?
This job I came in at like $22.50, something like that. I think latest pricing on Perfections all in for like cedar breather and underlayment, all the parts and pieces I would need, you're probably at about $800, $850 a square. And then on labor, I'm probably at about $400. And so these days, even on drainage, I'm like 100% markup. I just double. Like it's got to be worth my while. It's got to be worth it. You know what, too? For you guys that are on like state borders, and you're outside of Chicago. You know what's interesting? You start poking your head over state lines or into other counties, which I'm licensed and insured in Westchester County, New York, which is right on the border of where I live. A whole nother license, whole other insurance cost, whole other universe of clientele. I mean, if you guys know the quintessential New Yorker, right? What everyone, you watch Home Alone or you watch a couple slick New York movies where you got people hustling and bustling. New Yorkers are a different breed. I'm going to say that because I was born in Yonkers. I was raised in New York and New Jersey, and then I moved to Connecticut at the age of 9. My family are Irish immigrants and Italian immigrants, Bronx, New York, Yonkers, New York. So I could talk SHIT, and I'm going to. But New Yorkers they're mutants. They're aliens. It's a whole like nothing else on the universe. Then you cross the border into Connecticut. So where I'm going with this is I'm bidding jobs in Westchester, and occasionally you'll get to put an eyeball on somebody else's quote, or the customer will cough it up and give it to you, or what have you. And I start looking at these numbers. I'm like, I'm not cheap. I'm very expensive for drainage, and everybody tells me how expensive I am, but they hire me. But then I go into Westchester, and these guys are getting like, 50% more than what my markup is, and I'm like, are you kidding? So obviously, the minute I see that, I win the job because I dial the price back just a little bit, but I'm still making much more than I normally would. And now that's my new MO. I'm coming in with this new firepower on pricing, and it's kind of like a little bit of a swagger. Like it is what it is. You want the good stuff, come get it, and let's see how it goes. But so far, so good. We're getting what we want here.
Yeah.
What about drainage?
How's the drainage going? Are you doing anything were you doing like franchising, or what were you trying to do?
We look, we're doing all these things, look above my head, right? We have all these things going on. We want to create we're going to do it. It's underway. We've been trying to get Gutter App kind of on its own 2 feet and jogging down the street on its own so that we could then pivot. But what we would like to do is a small exclusive dealer network for drainage professionals. I really prefer guys that are in the rain gutter business, the rain gutter space, that want to convert and maybe get into dry wells as an add-on to their business. I'll tell you right now, my average ticket last year was like 29, 30,000 on the drainage side. This year I'm at 59.9 on average. So my average ticket is 60 grand, and it's like my average project's like 4 to 5 work days. So we're billing at 60 grand a week with one team running.
Now your dealer network, would it have to be like to exclusive territories where there's?
I don't want to have, because I want it to win. So our strategy is we'll handle the SEO. We'll put a website together for you with all of the keywords and the language that you need to make that phone ring. We'll track the leads for you. We'll set the appointments if you want. I can handle whatever. And what we want to do is build a little melting pot in, exclusive, high firepower zip codes. So I know where on the eastern, and all on the eastern seaboard for now, generally from Connecticut down to Florida. But we have select cities that we know we want to be in. What I want to do is put it out there and try to get guys that want to jump on. A lot of what I do is excavation, like straight up excavation, big boy stuff, even masonry. So I have a dedicated subcontractor for that has the ability to scale up to 3 teams. What I have a very unique skill set in is sourcing subcontractors. I've just been doing it for 21 years. I did it before contracting as a recruiter. So I know how to find guys, vet guys, quickly see if they have the chops for the job, train them, get them up to speed. So what we want to do is jump around in a few territories, get somebody like me, I'm in Connecticut, get somebody like me down in, let's say, Charlotte, right? And then maybe they have the chops for the sales, the rain gutters, and the management of the installs, and high level customer service. And then I slide into town and we do some shopping together. I find a nice subcontractor for them, for all of us, and we bring in an excavator that has never worked with Coltech infiltrators or true stormwater systems. I mean, we're doing crazy pump systems now. We're into all kinds of stuff. So I can get guys trained up on that, teach them how to sell it, teach them how to install it, teach them how to manage the installers, teach them how to price it the right way, how to pay the subcontractors the right way, how to grease the wheels on this thing. The money is so rich that your coffers are always full. So, one job comes in, no problem. You could throw 20 grand around to buy materials in the blink of an eye, and then it just snowballs behind it. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
What do you think about what's drainage doing in your neck of the woods? A lot of it is mandated by, municipalities and how they police or mandate per building permits. Is that a thing there, a requirement for you, or is it wet?
Pretty lax here.
Yeah.
Most of the drainage that we do is just pop-up drains in the yard.
Right. Hey, there's big money in that,
And something a little more, complex than that. I usually refer to one of my buddies that has a landscape company.
Yeah, so the old school term is dry well, right? But I could show you guys how to use Coltex as a dry well. So instead of popping up and putting the water back on the lawn, let's inject it back into the water table.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a little sexier than the pop-ups.
I'm open to anything now. And I've kind of shied away from drainage just because we've been so busy with gutters.
Do you have any buddies in excavation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a no-brainer then,
Yeah.
Cool. What else, dude? What else is popping? You excited for GutterCon or what?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited to see everybody there. I'm excited to see some new faces. Excited to see how much it can change some people's lives if they take it serious.
Yeah, for real.
Everybody getting on stage, guys like you, guys like everybody else, you've already done the hard work. So if you're going to go and give away that value, it's just enormous how much it'll help your business.
Yeah. What are your takeaways with all this? So Brent says looks like he's got a bigger crowd already booked than we had last year. So it should be, it's just bigger and better.
It's exciting.
So what are you talking about on stage?
Basically just keeping it simple. What I do and what works for me. We get all there's so much information there. As I want to remember that this is my business. So Frank, you might have a lot of good value to offer. Colin might have a lot of good value to offer. All these other people that have all this experience, but I'm just kind of learning to pick and choose what I want to create my vision for the company.
Nice. So you have some goodies for the audience?
For sure. I mean, what works for me? And what works for me might not work for the next person, or might light a fire under somebody else.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. I'm excited to watch you. We'll take lots of video. So you could bring it home with you, chop it up, make you famous. What are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
Just hanging up. Just kind of getting settled back in. I got a little more cleaning up around the house for winter to do.
That's right. You were just in Orlando, right? You were already back. What are you, like, surveying the scene before the big show?
We actually stayed in Cocoa Beach, but we spent...
I love Cocoa.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area, but it was in the 50s and 60s the whole time.
Well, you got a little shine on you. You look like you got a little color. Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm jealous, dude. I like to get my son in. It doesn't look like it's happening this year. Maui got ravished, so we respectfully left it alone. We're not doing it. My wife's going to Mexico in a couple weeks for some country western Crash My Playa concert. She's there for like 5-6 days. I'll be doing the daddy daycare thing.
Nice.
I need some sun, bro.
My little guy's nice, so when I have him, he comes with me during the day most days.
That's awesome. One's easy, dude. You get to 2 or 3, 4, it's forget about it. Nightmare.
Yeah,
Whole different ball game.
I think he's going to be it for me. So
good, man. I like it. He's literally your like mini me. It's hilarious. Same smile, same face. Hilarious, dude. Well, good to see you, dude. I'm looking forward to a big hug and kiss, and we'll get right to it. Right? As soon as I see you, we'll chop it up and grab a cold one and start having some fun.
Yeah, going to be a busy man this year there.
I know. We have staff, and my wife will be there, and it is what it is. Everybody likes a good time too, though. So we get it. We'll all be mixing and mingling and having fun.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see the whole team out there, which
yeah, absolutely. All right, dude. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll see you soon.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, brother. See ya.
Yep.